material doing it?
Yeah, we are. So hello, we are READSEARCH, and today we are going to talk about READSEARCH, a platform for reading research. So this lecture will start off with situating reading research, and that next READSEARCH as a research group will be discussed, followed by possible collaborations and the importance of such a research group in contemporary typographic reading research. And at the end, we will finish off with some takeaway message. So I would like to start with 3 curious facts about legibility and reading research. So reading is one of the most complex skills that humans can acquire, and it becomes automatic and it's so difficult to turn it off. The only ones who can turn it off are type designers. And the fact that type designers are in charge of the reading material that everyone reads makes them the perfect judges to assess the letters, and that's the first paradox. Type designers, they have always been interested in improving the printed matter, but the fact that the research work related to reading and legibility is one where type designers are usually not involved is a second paradox. This situation, it starts to change where designers are collaborating with scientists or where designers are turning into design researchers. And the third paradox is the fact that type designers have been successfully designing type for 5 centuries, but that the majority has, that most of the majority has had no contact with reading and legibility research. So until today, we can say that there is very little collaboration between the typographic practice and the scientific disciplines, which includes scientific research. So due to the gap between scientific legibility research and typographic practice, there is a distance or a filter between the type designers and their readers. Scientific legibility researchers, they conduct research and the results barely reach the type designers. But at this very moment, type designers and scientists, they are working together, and there are young designers who are turning into scientists, still doing graphic design and type design. Academic design researchers are developing typefaces as test material, and they are running experiments in a scientific, justified way. And this may lead to a better understanding of legibility, and this way they are providing an interesting forum to explore the conflict and bring together the scientific method and the design practice. So in this way, they get in contact with and receive feedback from their readers. When I started my PhD, my biggest challenge was to become, from my formation as a graphic designer, a design researcher, because that's the only possible way to intensely involved with your target group. And this is a unique experience as you get immediate feedback and interaction from your readers. So a design researcher blends the type designer and legibility researcher into one force. As a design researcher, one tries to combine the objectivity of scientific research with the sensibilities of designing. So in other words, connecting the artistic reflective matters and the scientific analytical ones. So my PhD was a design study that examined legibility and carried out legibility research in the interest of children with low vision. So I designed typographical design parameters that had the potential of positively influence the reading process of children with a visual impairment. I conducted an experimental legibility research where all the children were asked to read pseudo-words aloud that were very briefly exposed on a computer screen. And I also conducted a subjective legibility research where the children were asked to rank the test material by their legibility. And using the legibility researchers, I found out which typographical design parameters could influence the legibility for beginning readers with low vision. And starting from these findings, I could design a font which was aimed at my target group. So in my various legibility research projects, science always forms a great source of inspiration. On the one hand, because the research material demands for a well-founded scientific support, and on the other hand, because exactly this support induces valid practical applications in type design originating during and after the research. And in my effort to create a symbiosis of the two, I founded my own typographical research group, READSEARCH, where we focus on typographic legibility and reading research. So, Maarten and Kevin. So the typographic research group READSEARCH, it focuses on reading research, and type design and or typography is looked at from a multidisciplinary and scientific perspective, but always with a practical attitude. The artistic practice forms next to, based on and in dialogue with experimental but theoretically funded research, a substantial share. READSEARCH provides unique environment that brings together design researchers, typeface designers, scientists, and stakeholders through research, courses, and documentation. Typographic designers are now multi-skilled individuals or closely integrated with teams of designers and coders. And in this environment, thinking and creating are perfectly synchronized. So we are trying to make an important contribution to the legibility research and the international type design. In this kind of research, the added value is the combination of fine arts and the sciences through typography. And up to now, these words functioned mostly separate from each other.
Thank you. When it comes to legibility research, a lot of mistakes have been made by both designers and scientists, resulting in untrustworthy results. My PhD study deals with design research into digital techniques that support reading research, not to forget in real-life environments. Practically, I designed test material and test methods for typeface in order to collect data that can be described as valid test material, not resulting in bad test material as shown on the slides, in which the readability on device are measured, but wherein not only the device is different, but also layout is different, making it difficult to point the results. For specific research projects, custom-made testing methods are required, which simulate natural reading, thus preventing an incorrect influence of the results. By evaluating different methods and testing programming, practice-based test methods and possible methods for type design are developed for every research. This ensures that the data is collected in a correct manner and that a thorough analysis becomes possible by a statistician. My PhD will expand the knowledge about valid test methods within reading research by adapting existing programs or developing new ones. For this, we do ask programmers for assistance.
So READSEARCH is embedded in the understanding of typographic historical development, as well as the impact of type making and typesetting techniques. But READSEARCH's main focus is on the exploration of borders of legibility for specific target audiences. So READSEARCH has several research topics, and the topic of rhythm is in line with the findings of my doctoral dissertation, where a disturbed stripe pattern within words seemed to help the decoding skills for those with a less developed perceptual system. So this project will shed a light on the degree of rhythm heterogeneity that is needed for reaching optimal legibility and reading comfort. For the research topic on visual prosody, I have received 2 grants from Microsoft Clear Type and Advanced Reading Technologies in Seattle. And my critical sounding board there is Kevin Larson. So together we are hoping that the implementation of prosodic cues in written text format can serve as a cue for reading more expressively, but also for raising the comprehension for beginning and or difficult readers. So visual prosody is pioneer work, and it's very excited to see what comes out of the first study, and Kevin Bormans is doing his PhD into this topic.
So, prosody is the collective noun for a range of speech features peculiar to spoken language. These features, such as intonation or stress, can be of crucial importance in exactly understanding what the speaker or narrator is trying to tell us. Research has shown that phonological awareness contributes equally to both oral and silent reading, and furthermore, there is evidence that silent reading implies creating an implicit prosodic representation which may affect the sentence comprehension. But in the written modality, these prosodic cues don't exist explicitly, for certainly not in the Latin script. My PhD is design research into visual prosody. It explains whether it explores whether it is possible to visualize prosody to help children read aloud with more expression. Design experiments will investigate manners to visualize prosody in the context of real typefaces. Speech can be derived in 3 components, which serve as design parameters for implementation in real typefaces. And the first research we did at Microsoft served as the foundations for my PhD, in which the results of this research will be further explored, and, for example, in looking at differences between the mother language of the child, the age of the child, etc.
So another research topic is the concept of homogeneity and heterogeneity, where we will use this concept into regularity and distinctiveness letters, which is aimed at poor and normal readers. And also in collaboration with Gerard Unger, we are trying to set up a research project that studies the details that readers do see in letters and link them how it influences legibility. Also, last year we started with the research which is aimed at dyslexic readers, and a student from another university college collaborated in this project, and he was not a designer, he was doing teaching and neurology. So the latest studies on dyslexia show that visual experiments can improve the reading. And this has to do with the fact that in developmental dyslexia, there is a deficit which is found in the magnocellular dorsal pathway, which has to do with visual motion perception when you read. And then my team and myself, we are also involved in a European Coast Action that studies the evolution of reading in the age of digitization. And we are finishing off the first chapter that we wrote together with Sue Walker, Alison Black, and Marek Barrett. So we are still small, but we are ready to grow. So you have already met like 3 members of us, and we have a 4th member who is doing our statistics. And the next chapter will be on the collaborations. Maarten.
Thanks. We have some possible academic collaborations with READSEARCH. First, starting this academic year, we are starting with an international master. Its students are educated as design researchers within research topics, but always with their own freedom in the master project. We have some newspapers with us. They're limited, so be quick. It's also possible to join READSEARCH as an intern. To apply for an internship, we demand at least a bachelor degree. And the internship has a minimal duration of 2 months. During the internship, the full existence as a design researcher is experienced, where teamwork and cross-disciplinarity are key. We also welcome collaboration with master or bachelor students from other universities who want to engage in research in different topics. Mainly, the students' practical work is inspired and fed by science. We provide supervision and decide to which degree a project can evolve, so that it can eventually be tested in real life. Aspiring PhD students are also welcome to deliver a research project which is supervised by READSEARCH. Other research institutes are also welcome to collaborate with and exchange datasets with us, which we are currently doing for speech recognition and dyslexia. By working with students, the international master, etc., we can guarantee a flow through to more typographic legibility and reading research. With other research institutes, we can exchange data and start mutual projects and collaborations. Having an international view can support cross-cultural projects, for example, legibility research in other scripts, but with the same research philosophy. For further questions or for more information, please contact Anne.
So we'll now talk a little bit about the importance of READSEARCH or other of these kind of research groups. The research projects within READSEARCH are conducted within an academic sphere where design and science meet, thus forming a design research culture. And working as a research group has the advantage that different expertises can be present at the same time in one team. And this is important because to conduct the research in a thorough manner, it is important that there is as much information and knowledge available as possible. And that's also an advantage over working as an individual in one specialized field of study. Operating as an academic research group within an academic sphere often implies being connected to a university or to a university college. And as is the case with READSEARCH, we also teach. So teaching and guiding students becomes part of the daily activities. And in this way, we play a key role in generating knowledge while training the next generation of design researchers, type designers, and graphic designers. And only through actively conducting research, the quality and the founding of education is improved. Thus, education in typography is strengthened and transformed by instructing reading research as a part of the curriculum. Students are taught an attitude as a design researcher and not only as a type designer or graphic designer. And this can ensure a flow-through for graphic design students becoming design researchers. Young investigators are becoming engaged in reading research training early in their careers, with projects that develop their research skills to help them better understand how to evaluate and integrate new evidence into reading materials, advance the science of reading research, and to strengthen the academic institutions in which they work. The academic sphere also makes it possible to network and collaborate with the private sphere. Working as a research group makes collaborations with multiple international partners in the private sphere possible. For in case, Microsoft, as it's for READSEARCH. And through academic research, the private sphere can be served in their projects by means of collaborations, wherein the academic research gets support from the private sphere. And in this way, the academic research can form a part of a larger whole. In turn, an externalization in these bigger projects can form a valorization for the academic research. Academic research is a key driver of innovation in reading research. It can spur global collaborations, build substantial financial support, empower scientific leadership, and help promote critical thinking as well as guidelines for designers, publishers, and other stakeholders, which in turn can give feedback from daily life to the researchers. Through research conducted in an academic sphere and integrating it into bigger projects in the private sphere, stakeholders and publishers can be provided with better reading material. Guidelines regarding typographic design that are based on funded research can be applied in their daily practice. Then this is the public sphere. READSEARCH may have built a critical mass of design researchers as well as a cadre of type designers and graphic designers and stakeholders who will be better equipped to embrace a continually changing panorama of advances in reading research and reading materials. So we're also making a call for action. We're making a call for more of these kinds of research groups and collaborations, since it currently is a pretty small operating field within typographic research. And if there are more of these kinds of research groups, the knowledge in typographic reading research can only grow bigger, knowledge can be exchanged, and a discussion platform can be set up. For designers, legibility or reading research can be understood as a complex system of deriving meaning from print. And we are especially interested in the ability to fluently decode or encode words. And in turn, this has to do with phonics, fluency, and comprehension, which are all three some of the different components of reading.
So we will finish off with some takeaway messages. So the first one is that there is the need for more correct typographic legibility research. The second one is that there is a need for more insight and legibility aspects for specific target audiences. READSEARCH is a young expertise center ready to grow and together with you. And we are looking for collaborations not only in the private sphere but also with other research groups, universities and students. And we want to be a center of knowledge for giving advice to every possible person of interest in legibility. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Anne, Kevin, Maarten, and also thank you to the speakers for keeping on time and keeping us on schedule. We're going to go to the coffee break, and we will start at 11:30.